Hello all, welcome to my channel again. Today we are going to discuss an important topic of EduTalk, that is peace education. So the concept of peace education came into notice after the Second World War. It was first suggested by J.V. Galtung, who was a Norwegian sociologist. So here in this class, we are going to discuss about what is peace and what is the significance of peace education, and also how India influenced the world peace, and of course the peace education in schools. So let's begin. So what is peace? Peace can be stated as absence of war or hostility and violence, or it can be described as a societal friendship. Once Albert Einstein said, peace is not just the absence of war, it is justice, law, and order, simply a government. This peace can be classified into multiple groups. It can be the intrapersonal peace, interpersonal peace, intergroup peace, international peace, and global peace. And a simple classification is positive peace and negative peace. Positive peace means calm and relaxed state of mind which can stay in harmony with ourselves and others and a natural environment which includes living and non-living beings. And we know these peacemakers, or who don't support war, is also called as pacifist. We are familiar with the term pacifier, right? So the peacemakers is also known as pacifists. So one of the peacemaker forever is Mother Teresa. What she said, we don't need guns and bombs to bring peace. We need love and compassion. So according to her, peace is living in harmony, and it requires, of course, inner strength. So world peace grows through non-violence, which is an Indian philosophy, and the greatest proponent of non-violence or ahimsa was Gandhiji, and along with non-violence, he also proposed satyagraha. And then comes fairness, then communication and acceptance. Accepting the differences and understanding through communication and dealing with fairness ensures world peace. And the World International Day of Peace, the International Day of Peace, is celebrated on 21st September, and it was suggested by UN. And every year it comes with some theme, and this year it is End Racism and Build Peace. And you know, this UN came to exist in 1945, October 24th. This is known as United Nations Organization. And then we also know the Nobel Prize laureates for peace from India. They are Mother Teresa and Kailash Satyarthi. In 2014, Kailash Satyarthi shared his Nobel Prize for Peace with the youngest Nobel laureate ever, who is, yes, you said it right, Malala Yousafzai. She is from Pakistan, and we know how she fought for equality and education for all. Then comes 5 pillars of peace. Participation. You should participate in the events and agencies which advocates peace. Protection. Protection of yourself and others from engaging to any unhealthy conflicts. Prevention of conflicts by practicing tolerance and partnership. Then comes disengagement and reintegration. So you should not engage in any kind of violence, and also if some kind of conflict occurred, then it is your responsibility to re-establish peace again. Education for peace. As I told you, the father of education for peace or peace education is J.V. Galtung. But in our syllabus, we have came across Maria Montessori and Comenius, who are also known for their contribution for peace education. And we know from Vedas, Puranas and Upanishads, Indian philosophy always advocates for peace and peace education. To reach the real peace in the world, we should start educating the children. Gandhiji said once, and Tagore believed highest education is not acquiring knowledge or information, it is living in harmony. And Vivekananda believed the aim of education is to establish the inner peace. So you can quote all of them, and even I have provided one quote from UNESCO, and it said, as a war begins in the mind of man, we should construct peace within the same space, that is mind. And definition for peace education. Peace education is the process of acquiring values. It can be personal and human values, knowledge about laws and regulations, and about your right and duties, and a positive attitude. Then skills like life skills, as we have learned in the last video, which is on core life skills, and behaviors, how to respond even to a provoking action, and all. To live in harmony with oneself, that means refers to inner peace, others, that refers to interpersonal or intergroup, and natural environment, which includes all your materialistic background as well. And peace education can be defined as an education to provide the preconditions for the achievement of peace. Then purpose of peace education is to create peacemakers or pacifists or pacifists than the consumers of peace. And the next one is it should help an individual to choose the path of peace rather than violence. Then significance of peace education. As I have told you, our culture is enriched with peace philosophies. So it's a philosophy and a process. And it creates a safe and sustainable world. Sustainability is always something which Upanishad recommends for, and the tool for social change. We know how we have changed from a society which believed in untouchability and all, and it also occurred through awareness, that means inner transformation, and of course understanding others, other values and acceptance, and practicing non-violence. It promotes reflective thinking. You know what is reflective thinking? Reflective thinking is about thinking of one's own action and maybe its causes and consequences, and how to overcome its consequences, or how to be a better human being. And then comes creative thinking. Creative thinking means finding solution in a more positive and healthier way. And then problem solving. Then it helps children to grow holistically. So when the word comes holistically, you have to understand peace is not a physical thing. it has spiritual values, ethical values, and of course, social, political impacts, or it has dimensions also. It has several dimensions, including one physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, political, social, and ethical dimensions. It helps them to channelize their energy in non-destructive ways. As we know, when we are tired of some government actions or when we want to really protest, you should not take weapons. You can deal the issue in a more creative way. Either you can go for a satyagraha or a normal healthier protest in a non-violence manner. And of course, you can write articles just like the columnist or journalist do. And otherwise, you can deal in a legal way. You can submit a petition to the court. And it gives them time to question existing misconception and social cultural anarchy in an empathetic manner. We have discussed about caste system and all, so you know what I mean here, and goals of peace education. So first one is, as we have seen the 5 pillars of peace, we should prevent and resolve violent conflict, promote post-conflict stability and development, which we might reintegration and all, and increasing peace-building capacity or your tolerance and tools, that means skills and intellectual capital. You know, we have to be more creative and more careful and empathetic. Proposing world peace and reducing international tension caused by nationalism and ethnic stereotyping. We have seen in 2022 the theme was end racism. And now is the time to promote international brotherhood. We have been clinging to nationalism for a long time, and though we say the world is a global village, it's our duty to make it a global village in all means. So better we should stick to one race, that is the human race, than focusing on our skin color or eye color or hair color or our ethnic backgrounds or from we are or what to whom we are belongs to. So it's a high time to focus on human as a single race. And principles of peace education. Explain necessity and possibility of peace and take action in favor of peace. Again, it refers to the 5 pillar of education, peace education, and understanding the real causes and responsibilities as a citizen. So whenever a political or an economical decision is taken, you have to understand why they have taken that decision and what would be its consequences. And you should react and respond as a global or responsible citizen. Awareness of interdependence of racism, colonialism, sexism, etc. So this peace education is considered in an integrative way. So it is not teaching as a tag of peace education, but now we have taken an integrative approach as an integrative theory of peace. So we are learning it through science, social science, etc., even through the problems of maths, and we have already know about issue-based curriculum and all. So through this, we should be aware of everything happening around us and in the world and how it affects all citizens around the globe. So it is our individual responsibility. Of course, we have to take actions against arms race. As we know, if you're buying one aircraft, our neighboring or a rival country would buy 2 or 3. So we should oppose that and we should support disarmament. That means we should reduce the use of weapons. If possible, we should not use any weapons. And India is known for nuclear disarmament. Though India is a nuclear country, it uses the nuclear power only for development, not as weapons. And I told you now we are having integral approach for peace education. So it is the peace education, branches of peace education include value education, human right education, which also deal with different articles, laws, etc. And education for sustainable development. Here we should also remember sustainable development goals. There are 17 starting from zero poverty. So you should remember that too. Then global citizenship education, what to do as a global citizen and what not to. Democracy education, how to behave as a responsible citizen. Conflict resolution education. Now we know in every school there's a counselor and special educator, and they occupy our children to deal with all the kind of, or to accept the diversity among themselves, and to deal with all the children irrespective of their caste or their physical abilities or their mental abilities. So, and also we promote physical education, meditation, yoga, etc. And then comes gender education. So we know nowadays our government promotes gender neutral uniforms, which is a great innovative idea. And then social justice education. So this can be begin from your home itself. So from when it comes to social justice, you can also introduce the topic like dowry, domestic violence, etc. to bring awareness to. Then comes peace education in school. So what are the methods through which we can introduce the peace education in school? Of course, role plays, discussions, debates, and of course, taking them to nearby police station or mental asylums, etc., so that they understand and inculcate some values within them. And debate, brainstorming, group discussions all develops a kind of tolerance in children, and they try to understand others' point of view. So you can use all these methods to inculcate the value of peace in children. And of course, it reflects in all the levels of management, from management to teachers to parents to students, and even non-teaching staff. So basically, peace education should be based on mutual respect and trust and love. So it makes students healthy and compassionate, and it also develops brotherhood among them. Then it makes us realize how important it is to coexist, because we know uh, when we fail to coexist peacefully, then the conflict begins. And it also helps them to channelize their energy in a more creative way. As we have discussed, it also inculcates sportsman spirit, teamwork, and mutual dependence. And as we discussed, it helps the children to be socially responsible citizens. So there are some agencies for world peace: United Nations Organization, UNO, and then the agencies of UNO, such as UNESCO, UNICEF, International Children Fund, and UNESCO means it stands for education and social science and culture. Sorry, so it's not social science and culture. And World Peace Organization. Then there are some agencies like the Lion and Lamb Peace Center and the International Court of Justice, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, Nonviolence International, etc. So, in the former slides as well, we have discussed about India and world peace. We have discussed about the contribution of Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore, and Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, and we know how the Vedic philosophies, including the philosophies from Vedas, Puranas, Upanishad, influence the world peace. And non-alignment movement is not NAM, NAM, and three of them should be in capital. It's all in Malayalam is known as Cheriyera Prasthana. Is also a greatest achievement for peace from India's side, and then comes peaceful existence, economic and cultural cooperation. As I have said, it is unity in diversity, disarmament, and use of nuclear energy for peace, settlement of international disputes by peaceful means. We know we always go for a dialogue, even from the Vedic period, before asking for a war, and support for nationalist movement in different parts of world, ending of apartheid, old and new types of colonialism and imperialism. So uh, there is no kind of discrimination apart from the racism. Even we are against racism and all the kind of discrimination, colonialism and imperialism. We are a democratic country, and we offer support for UNO in terms of human resources and material resources. Now we have the last slide, the Panchsheel Agreement, the five principles of coexistence. It was formed in 1954 as a trade agreement in the Tibetan region. Then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of India and Premier Zhou Enlai of China was agreed to this trade agreement. It was during the Asian Prime Minister Conference occurred in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Later in 1955, this was modified during the Asian African Conference in Indonesia as 10 principles of peaceful coexistence. But after 7 years, this agreement was expired, and in 1962, the India-China War began. These 5 principles include mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. So basically, it is looking towards a beneficial partnership without provoking each other with words, with statements or any activity near the borders or the other. So basically, it looks forward for more peace. But China accused India for breaking the third principle when India provided asylum to the Tibetan leader Dalai Lama, who is considered one of the greatest philosophers and pacifists. Now, let's go to the conclusion part. So, in this peace education, we have seen the father of peace studies and the agencies of peace. Also, we have seen the importance of peace education. We have seen some famous quotes on peace. And also, we have seen the methods through which peace education can be imparted into. And also, we learned how India influenced the world peace. So that's all. I hope you liked the video and I hope it was informative for you. So thank you so much. See you in the next class.